What is going on, my dudes and dudettes? I hope you're having a fabulous day. This is Sean you with SNS Serpentarium, and you're watching the Ultimate African House Snake Guide. This is going to be a series of videos released every Tuesday from the topics of getting your first African house snake as a baby, right the way through to breeding and morphs and stuff like that. These are going to be released every Tuesday at 5 o'clock UK time, so make sure you're there if you like your house snakes. Cheers. Right then guys, diving straight into it. This is episode 1 of African House Snake, the Ultimate Care Guide. And today we're going to talk about enclosures for babies and hatchlings. So this right here is a 1.3 litre Burplast tub. They also do up to a 3 litre. I'd recommend the 3 litre for anything bigger than this snake in here, which I'll show you in a minute. I recommend these just because of how small the holes are, so you're not going to get any escaped snakes as long as you click the lid. You can also get the X or Terra style tubs with the slits in the top. That gives really good ventilation, also offers more space than these style tubs. But obviously they're more expensive, and seeing as I've got so many babies, it's just not feasible for me to do that. I absolutely wouldn't recommend a vivarium for anything this size, because as soon as you put it in there, it's going to escape through the vents. Or you may actually never find it again because of how small they are. But escaping would genuinely worry me in a vivarium at this sort of size. I'd keep them in this sort of size tub until they've had about 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 meals, depending on the growth. And then I move up to a larger tub then. What I would do for these though, guys, is keep them on paper for your first week of having it, just so you can make sure that it's eating, it's clean, it's pooping, it's doing everything it should, it doesn't have any mites, and you can be 100% certain that everything is going well. Then I'd like to move it onto a loose shifting substrate, something that it can actually burrow under. These guys like to burrow, I've noticed. I keep most of them on a loose shifting substrate. If you can just have a look at them there, I keep them on most of them on a loose shifting substrate, and they do seem to very much enjoy it. They dive under, they pop up, and they're just having a good old time in there. Now we're going to move on to the heating element of these tubs. I'd recommend heating 1/3 of the tub, no more. Pop the heat mat under, put a thermostat on it, tape it down, set it to 90 degrees, leave it for 3 hours or so. Come back, get your temp gun, beep it in, make sure that no spot is hotter than the 90 degrees. If it is, then turn it down a little bit until your hot spot in there is at 90 degrees. Then you're going to check the cool end and make sure it's no cooler than 75 degrees. These guys do not like it too warm, but on the flip side, they don't like it too cold either. Where they actually come from in Africa, believe it or not, where they live, it's got a more or less constant temperature. There's slight fluctuations in certain areas, like on a rock or something, but where they tend to go is more or less an even temperature year round. And that's actually why you don't need to brumate these guys to breed them, but we're not going to talk about that now. We'll save that for another episode. Inside the tub as well, you can see the little snake there. Okay, it's important to have a water bowl that's not too big, so it's taking up the whole enclosure, but not so small that the snake can't crawl in and help it shed and so on and so forth. So that's the size I like to use. Right, I'm just going to pop this little dude back in, and I'm going to wrap this up here. Make sure you tune in next Tuesday for the feeding guide of these little guys here. We'll talk about the feeding and everything you should expect as far as prey items go, up to about a sub-adult size. So make sure you tune in for that one, and I'll see you next week. Thanks guys.